Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to make your own dungeon tiles in a very easy way, very low cost, and you can produce your own tiles in an evening, very easy. You're going to need Sharpies or any type of permanent marker, scissors, get good quality scissors, it's worth the investment if you're going to be cutting a lot of cardboard, an eraser, pencils, and of course you need a map. One of the most important things about making these tiles is this ghost lined poster board. And one of the cool things about this poster board is that it has half-inch grids drawn up on them. Like I mentioned before, you need a map. In this case, this is an adaptation from a map from Dyson Logos. I'm going to be putting a link to his website in the description. It's a lot of amazing OSR style maps for free. They lend themselves really well to this type of tile. Some people like to back their poster board with some foam or cardboard, but I realize that the more material you put, then you have to make sure that it's all even and everything is perfectly flat, which is way easier to do with something thin like this poster board versus having to match up the thickness of some type of foam or cardboard, and it's going to be all wonky, it's going to be unstable. If you put minifigs, they're going to fall off and all that. This is basically like putting things on the table, so you don't have to worry about that. The easiest way to get started with this is basically you pick a room, trace that room into the poster board, and you cut it. However, one thing that you should keep in mind when determining what rooms are you going to make, how you're going to cut the rooms, is what the players are seeing. Because the purpose of dungeon tiles is to show little by little what the player characters are seeing in their adventure. Sometimes it might be possible that you might create a tile for an area where the characters are going to see everything. For example, if I'm going to have this area here, I would probably make also this area, at least this part up to here, because if somebody was standing here, they would see this curving hallway in this direction. Of course, there's a wall blocking here, so they wouldn't see what goes on down there, but at least they would see this part. So probably my tile wouldn't be like up here, here, and this room here. And that way, I make sure that my players get to see what they would see if they were actually there. Of course, sometimes it's very difficult to figure that out. Sometimes, depending on how the characters are coming into the area, they would see something, but if they're coming from a different direction, they wouldn't see it. So use your judgment, but basically keep in mind that tiles are the same as player character vision. What they see is what you should put in a single tile. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to keep it very easy. Room number 5 here. The scale in the poster board is ½ inch. So for minifigs, usually you would do, 1 inch equals 5 feet. So very carefully, you count the squares. So you have 1, 2, 3. So that's 15 feet. So I would lightly trace 1, 2, 3, and then I have 2 squares here, 10 feet, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Then the wall goes like this, goes like that. And I have a little hallway here, which usually when I have rooms like these, that have like a little entrance, I have to basically create those entrances right there for the rooms. So I will do so. 5 feet and 5 feet here. Perfect. So now I have my basic shape for this room. For the walls, since this has ½ inch grids, I find it kind of cool to basically use that as my outline for the walls. So I'll just trace it like that, like so, like this. Now comes the fun part, detailing the room. So I prefer to do all the drawing and the detailing on the poster board. It's just easier to handle and manage. And for the things that go inside the tiles, I usually cut them separate and put them on the tile with masking tape or any type of removable glue. And I think it's better than just drawing them, because that way I can reuse the tiles if I want to. With one of the Sharpies, I'm going to start tracing the inside of the room. And it's just as simple as tracing the lines. Try to keep the lines consistent. But the cool thing about maps like this, like the Dyson maps, is that the style, the art style is kind of like a bit squiggly. So if you want to match Dyson's style, you don't have to be very precise. You can just do like this, and then it has like this, and it has like something like that, and so replicate that on the other side, trace, bam, have the interior wall. How about the exterior walls? Well, I like to do the cross hatching like Dyson does, so that's what I'm going to be doing for my room here. I mean, cross hatching, I make sure I pass the line that I trace where I set the wall, you know, where I trace the outer border of the walls. So I'm just gonna hatch and hatch and hatch. I'm not really good at this hatching thing, but some people are really good at this. I tend to get very repetitive. Usually do like 3 strokes. It gives me enough variety to kind of make it look good. See, in this case, as I'm doing this, I realize I should be using a Sharpie that's a little bit more fresh. And this one is kind of a little bit fadey. Maybe it doesn't look like that in the video, but I'm looking at it right here. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I would use something, make sure my markers are really fresh. So that ink is really dark and it looks really bold. Keep cross hatching. You almost have disregard the walls that you drew. So now I have my outline. And now you simply cut it. You're done. Here's your new dungeon tile. One thing that you can do, which is optional, but I really like as a detail, is that you see those squiggly lines defining the different tiles. I like doing those. I take my Sharpie and just kind of like trace it lightly and kind of like be very loose with the marker. And make sure you do it right. Kind of like this. And this one here. Yep. And that's it. Look at that. This is a very simple system for creating your own tiles. Extremely cheap. And last but not least, this is how to make tiles, but if you have an area like I had in my last adventure, it was a totally open area and the player characters would see everything. I used a single board to create this. Because this is a totally open area. This building had open archways in all these walls, they were open. So I realized I didn't really need tiles for this. I just drew the whole map in this. I made sure it fit. I made some adjustments from like this again based on a Dyson logos map, and I tweaked a little bit of these structures, these pillars to be, you know, kind of different location to fill up the space in a way that suited better the space I had here. But it's not only for tiles. Like I said, you can use it for a whole map as long as you're sure that the player characters will be seeing the whole thing and you're not giving away any surprises or any details in the area. Another cool thing about the tiles is they're easy to store. You can just put them in some sort of folder or a plastic envelope or anything like that, and you can carry them anywhere. I hope you liked my method of creating dungeon tiles. I'm pretty sure some people out there must be doing something similar, but it felt like it would be a good thing to share this method. My players enjoyed it a lot. They liked how I was placing tile after tile. They liked the look of them. They're very easy to use, and I think it's a very foolproof way to have your own dungeon tiles for your game. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like the channel, feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And until next time, keep those D20s rolling.